Minus 3 days until From season 4 drop. I just got done watching season 3, episode 4, so I'm about to talk about that with y'all real quick. It's another one of those episodes MJ Plus told us to watch out for. I'm gonna break down my takeaways for y'all, but I also want to give y'all some information on how I want to go about the rest of this rewatch. As y'all probably noticed, more recently I've not been able to keep up with the daily rewatch upload content for y'all. It really is because of work, but I found a workaround for it. Only one more episode that MGM Plus told us to rewatch ahead of this season 4. So what I'm gonna do is binge through episodes 5 through 9, give y'all a takeaway video off of that, and I'll give y'all a season 3 finale video basically going over my takeaways on that. Hopefully I can get a predictions video for season 4 ahead of the season 4 premiere, but if not, then we'll just rock out when the season 4 premiere comes out. Talk about that episode and go from there. Say all that to say, I appreciate all the support that y'all been showing them from content so far. Let's believe we just getting started. Now on to the episode. I was honestly dreading the day that I would have to rewatch the episode that this character got introduced into this universe. If there are no more Acosta haters on Earth, that means that I have departed the planet. Not only does the lady have the audacity to handcuff Tabitha in the back of this ambulance, then goes on to shoot somebody in Colony House. Now granted, she was out there playing Resident Evil with them from Demon, and she just seen 2 more people get slimed out, so you could say it's fair that she's moving in this way. But why did you have to go and shoot somebody in the house? Talking about a misfire, your enemies are outside. Honestly, I don't know why we needed this character in Fromville, but they're gonna have to find a way to redeem her in season 4, because right now she's not cutting it for me. This episode shows us Tabitha returning to Fromville, which goes with the title There and Back Again. She and the EMS team see the tree in the road, as well as the crows that pull up just on time. Notice that we got some newcomers in town, so we gotta let every From Demon know it's time to get active. Conveniently enough, I think every time we see somebody come into town in this series, From Demons immediately make an example of what they can expect to come from this town that very night. We have some nights in Fromville that are more calm than others. Before the start of the series, we had about, I think, 70 days with no accident. Let's take a look back at when the Matthews family first got into town. There's a car crash. Ethan's trapped in the back of the RV, so they can't all go to town. They gotta separate. Jay's best friend dies, and then Sarah leaves the door for Kenny's pops to die. You got that. Then when the bus pulls up to town, and a few people from the bus go into the house to try to look for her, house ends up caving in, which leaves Jim, Tom, and some other person from the bus trapped there for the From Demons to do what they like to them with no talisman in the house to protect them. Boyd and his family got to town. They heard a first-hand example of what was going on from above them while they were underground. They saw the remnants of the people that were left behind after the From Demons got done doing what they was doing to them the night before. And now this episode, the From creatures are showing out, and that the crows are meant to signal to the From Demons, hey, we have new people coming into town. What can we do to make their first night a living hell? There was just way too many things that happened later on in this episode that were too calculated to just chalk up to a coincidence. Mind you, right after Tabitha gets back into the town and she sees the crow, Thomas immediately calls up the Matthews residence. Ethan answers, and Thomas tells Ethan that Tabitha has returned to town. She's in an ambulance, she's gonna need help. Jim takes the phone from Ethan and tells Thomas to leave his kids alone, for Thomas to respond that those are not his kids anymore. Why are Julie and Ethan all of a sudden not Jim's kids anymore? It's also having to do with the picture that Ethan was looking at the beginning of the episode. The boy, his sister, and his mother separated from the father. The images that Ethan are looking at right before the call from Thomas, by the way, are given to him from Victor, and it's to signify his family. Obviously, Henry not being in the town is Eloise, Victor, and Miranda. You know, by the end of the season, Jim dies, so is there another parallel here? We also see in the season 4 trailer, Jim returns, it looks like, and he's greeted by Ethan. So what does all this mean? The kids not being Jim's kids anymore? The picture that Ethan was looking at the beginning of the episode, it has to be connected in some way. 2 hours after Thomas calls the Matthews residence, we see the ambulance pull into town, and that's when things start to get active, because not only did Ethan run out the house, knowing that his mom's on that truck after what Thomas told him, we also get Boyd and Randall involved, because from the last episode, Boyd wanted to swap spots with Randall to see how the From Demons move and operate as he's trying to capture one of them. But decides he doesn't want to switch, opting to be a team player, because he's resigned himself to the fact that there are worse fates to meet in Fromville than death. As somebody who has experienced what he, Julie, and Mariel experienced in the last season with the cicada, combined with what he goes through in this episode, I'm not surprised he's saying it. Being such a team player, in fact, that he's giving Boyd a play-by-play on how these From Demons move and have moved since he's been on the bus. Putting Boyd on to where these From Demons usually hang out, what they say when they get to the bus, what they do around the bus, what routes they take when they outside at night, etc. I'm honestly surprised that the From Demons didn't slime Randall out in this episode, though. You know, he has to have some importance based on what he went through in season 2, but just off how much information he knows from staying on the bus about how they move and what they potentially get into at night, we think they want him off the board, but I guess just doing what they did to his face was enough, which is crazy. They really just wanted to get back for what Randall was doing to them in season 2, seemingly. After Acosta does the bonehead move of handcuffing Tabitha to the back of his ambulance. For Boyd the deal, we have the keys to Tabitha's handcuffs. All you gotta do is hand this over Randall. And obviously, with Jim in the back of the truck, he's gonna take the key. Randall is now at their mercy. It's crazy how the From creatures are moving in this episode. It's like they knew Acosta was going to handcuff Tabitha to the back of that truck, to the point where they had these exact keys to free Tabitha. Like, it's no way y'all got these keys off of Acosta. Because when did y'all do this? We didn't see that happen on screen. Maybe she dropped it on the way to Colony House. That is very possible. I don't know, man. The From creatures were moving a step ahead in this one. As if the night wasn't crazy enough, the woman that Acosta shoots before getting into Colony House, I think her name is Nikki, she ends up passing away. Rest in peace. And Fatma, alone with her body, digs into the gunshot wound of this freshly deceased body, gets to tasting on her blood. Like, what is going on with this girl? From Demons really had Fatma tripping. I'm very curious to see what her character is going to be on in season 4 after experiencing everything she has in season 3. Also, one more thing. Elgin sees the kimono lady again in this episode, and she's calling out to him for help. Help does she need it, and why does she need it from Elgin? I don't know. See, she helps to deliver Fatma's baby later on this season. She's also the reason why Elgin kidnapped Fatma to begin with, so clearly she's not a good entity. And I guess you say the same thing about the Boy in White. It's not really clear just how good the Boy in White is. Yes, he wants to help the people of Fromville escape, I guess. I mean, he helped Tabitha to do it in the season 2 finale. But he also wants them to understand what's going on in the town, which means experiencing all the BS that the town comes with. If you have the knowledge of everything that goes on in the town already, why can't you just help to free them as is? Speaking of the Boy in White, though, we got Victor calling him his best friend in this episode, or at least somebody who was there with him through the rough times when there was nobody left in town after the From massacre. And during this time, the Boy in White tells Victor, instead of worrying about burying the bodies, just collect the precious items of these people and bury them instead. In this episode, we see him get with Sarah, the scariest person in town according to him. They set up this fort in the basement where he says is where secrets are revealed. He said that he and Eloise frequented the houses in the town a lot back in the day, and that this one in particular was very special to both of them for some reason. Anyway, they go to the basement, they look into the precious items that Victor collected back in the day. And when he gets to talking about Christopher and how he doesn't have one in the box, he starts crashing out. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Sarah has to calm him down. That's when he realizes what Christopher's special item would have been, and that would have been Jasper, the ventriloquist dummy we've seen a couple times in the series already. We've seen a flashback scene that Christopher was talking to Jasper back in the day. Across the room, though, this doll Jasper was in a chair by itself, having a full-on conversation with Christopher. Like, how is this possible? He says that Jasper would likely be able to tell him what went wrong with Christopher, and that'll help him to remember more things about the town overall. So we need to get Jasper and Victor's possession ASAP. Finally, we got Jade, Kenny, and Christy's group out in the woods at the little settlement outside of Fromville. He's talking about these letters that he's writing to deceased Tien Chen, telling Jade how she loved him. Jade gets into how he's been seeing people since he first got to town, and how Tien Chen really helped him when he was manically writing these symbols, calming him down, showing him the book of symbols to let him know that he's not the only person who's seen these symbols in the past. Tien Chen. Now, by the end of this conversation, they hear some big-ass footsteps outside of this cabin. Who or what these footsteps may be, we don't know yet, but I would not be surprised at all if they end up being this thing or multiple of these things.